Ok. Nous voilà de retour connectés sur la Web TV du Reggae Sun Ska. Le show de Damian, Junior Gong, Marley vient de se terminer. Il nous a rejoint ici même. Donc c'est un grand plaisir avec Stéphanie du Monde et Julien de Reggae.fr de lui poser quelques questions. So Damian, greetings and welcome. How was the show tonight? Tell us your first words.
Great. I had a really good time. You know what I mean? The show was full of energy, great vibration. I'm a big fan of reggae festivals, you know, when you get such a large crowd that is familiar and love reggae music. You know, it's always a good feeling.
Voilà, il nous dit que c'est un fan des festivals et du coup, voilà, ce soir ça s'est super bien passé. Il a vraiment ressenti une good vibration avec le public, donc top ce soir ici au Reggae Sun Ska. Stéphanie?
During the show, you mentioned Bruno Mars. You know, could you remind us what was you were saying on stage, and you were talking about marijuana at the same time? So tell us.
Yeah, Bruno Mars and I have a song together. It's called Liquor Store Blues. So what it was is a little intro to my verse. I did my verse tonight live on stage. So it's a little, you know, a joke, a little gimmick that I usually run with the audience. And I said to them that when Bruno and I were in the studio, he was telling me that he's a little bit worried. So I said, you know, the best thing that you do is get a pinch of marijuana and roll a joint, you know. But I mean, it's like I said, it's just a joke. You know?
Okay. Voilà, on parlait d'une blague entre Bruno Mars et Damian Marley sur cette dernière anecdote parce qu'il a chanté un couplet d'une de leurs chansons, en tout cas sur scène ce soir. C'était la question. Julien?
I prepared my interview actually before you just give us some information about the new album. So I was about to ask you about the title, and can you tell us about this new album? Now we know the title, the first excerpt, and...
Yeah, well, yes, we have a new album that is going to be released in a few months. We're planning to release it in October. The title of the album is Stony Hill. You know what I mean? It will be my first solo release in quite some time, you know what I mean? But we had a great time putting the album together, and we're feeling very confident and very proud of the body of work that we have. And we're excited, you know, and we're looking forward. So anyone else who is interested can, you know, keep an eye out. It's going to be released. Right now, the release date that we have is October 28th. So Jah willing, you know, that will be the date that the album comes out.
What's the meaning of the title?
Stony Hill is a place in Jamaica where I grew up, you know, in a very nice part of town. So it kind of reflects my history of where I come from in Jamaica is a meaning.
Voilà, il nous a expliqué, et c'est une super information qu'on a en exclu ici au Reggae Sun Ska. Le prochain album de Damian Marley qui va arriver dans quelques mois s'appellera Stone Hill. Et Stone Hill, c'est juste un des quartiers où il a grandi. Donc, tout un symbole. On attend ça avec grande impatience. Damian, I noticed tonight like to perform a new song, brand new song. Can you tell us something about, like it would be in the new album?
Yeah, that song that we performed tonight, the new song, is one of the first singles from the album. The name of that song is Nail Pan Cross, which we're just releasing now. And we have a video to go along with it that will be out in a few days also. So we did that one tonight. We also have another new release by the name of Caution, which we didn't play tonight, but those are the first two singles from the upcoming album, which represented one of them here tonight.
Voilà, donc n'hésitez pas à retrouver les deux nouveaux titres. Donc il nous a donné justement le nom. Je me souviens plus trop à l'heure actuelle, mais Ale Pan Cross, M Pan Cross. Voilà, vous pouvez aller découvrir. Ce sera le single du nouvel album qu'il a performé ce soir, et puis un autre qui va sortir très bientôt. Stéphanie.
Yeah, it's kind of the title really speak upon to be careful of your past judgment, especially while not judging your own actions justly, you know. So that is really what the song is about, really more so, you know, even within normal day-to-day relationships where people put judgment on one another, you know, in an unjust way. So that is really what the song is about. The visual is from the video. So when the video comes, you get a whole, you know, you get 3 minutes worth of that kind of visual. So yeah.
So you were saying earlier that you like very much reggae festival, and tonight you asked this strange question. You asked, is there some Bob Marley fans here? Like, did you ever go to a reggae festival with no fan of your father?
I've never been to any festival with no fan of my father.
Yeah.
You know?
So it's strange from you to ask this question, to people.
No, it's not really strange. It's almost, when I ask that question, it's almost as if, of course, there's this obvious question in that kind of sense. And again, that's, the audience and myself sharing a joke, a moment of, laughter, really.
What do you like reggae festivals so much? What do you like them more than rock and roll, or?
Well, I mean, not to say I really like them more than rock and roll, but of course, these are our fans. All of these people are here because they want to really listen to reggae music, Sometimes when you go to festivals that have a lot of other music, the people might be there for, something else, but you get the chance to introduce yourself to somebody new. Meanwhile, these fans now are really our fans as reggae. So, of course, we're going to love being with our fans,
And when you did this album with Nas, you were doing like a lot of hip-hop festival, or was it different from you or not? Or is it so cousin music that...
No, we did a lot of everything, because Nas and myself did quite a few reggae festivals also. And even now, we still play a lot of different kinds of festivals, you know what I mean? But like I say again, personally, I enjoy reggae festivals a lot,
I want to go back with the Nail Pancross and the fact that you are a dancehall baby. You told me that you wanted to emulate Ninja Man, Shabba Ranks, and all these kind of men who have a kind of dark side. They have aggressivity, they express aggressivity, and you also kind of express aggressivity. Can you explain us what is the tiny border between positive message and aggressiveness in music?
It's more about being passionate, more than aggressive. Aggressive doesn't necessarily have to be seen as something negative. You know what I mean? We're aggressively positive. You understand? So that is it. We're aggressively positive. And I mean, if you even check it, by the standards of the time, a lot of my father's music was considered aggressive in those days. You know what I mean? So that's the nature of who we are as who we are. You know what I mean? We have that fighting spirit, But that's all it is. So it's like I say again, it's being aggressive positively, Yeah.
And you just talked about your father. You inherit your nickname from your father, right? Can you tell us what is this nickname, and tell us why now when we see a Damian Marley show, it's always written Junior Gong. Why is it so important for you to stress on that nickname?
This was a part of my title, you know what I mean? Coming up as an artist, especially as a fan of dancehall music, most dancehall artists, they don't use their real name. They have a different name, So trying to find a different name as a youth, you know what I mean? So I chose Junior Gang. So that's just been a part of my title since I was a young person coming up. I will continue to use it, Yeah.
And when we interview you and your brothers, many interviewers talk about your father, maybe if you have memories, but we always forgot that you just lost your father, and this is just something sad. But can you tell us, how did you grow up without a father?
I grew up with a father. Yeah, I grew up with a stepfather, who was very good to me and was a father to me. His name is Tom Finson, who lives in Jamaica, and we're very close still. So I grew up with a father. Yeah.
And do you think you would have been a different man if you have known Bob?
Of course. I mean, you can always say if. There is no if. There's only what is.
On your last album, Jamrock was such an anthem for Jamaica for a long time. Jamrock, it's an anthem, and it's in reggae music now, dancehall music. It's even for hip hop people, it's a big song. On your next album, would you give another picture of Jamaica? Would you give how Jamaica evolved since that song?
Jamaica evolved in a lot of ways. There's more awareness. Of course, even from the time when Jamrock came out, the internet is much more widely used now, everywhere in the world. So that people are, seeing and being aware a lot of what's going on outside of Jamaica, which, people learn a lot from that. more conversations, you know, between young people about things that are important. You know what I mean?
Like what? Which things are more, people are more aware of
Things
today?
about just what's affecting the country, leaders, you know what I mean? Being more educated to what's going on with the economy. Being more educated up to what, you know, how can we help people, what people need help, you know, what the illnesses are, you know, and everyone is trying to find solutions, you know. So, you know, you have a lot of changes, you know. There's still a lot of work to do. Yeah.
Okay, so on your next album, what will be the songs about? You know what you're gonna?
Well, you'll have to wait till the album comes.
No, we can't.
You must have heard about the bombings in France. It happened more and more frequently. It happened on the National Day. It even happened in a venue during a show. I know you don't fear, but do you have it in mind when you perform in France?
No, I want to tell you, I didn't even remember until today when someone said to me that, I shouldn't say I didn't remember, but I wasn't thinking about it until today when someone said to me that this is one of very few sold-out events of recently because of the bombings. So it's you know, of course, we're cautious, and of course, you know, condolences to the family, condolences to the country, you know what I mean? Very sad situation, you know what I mean? And we hope that the music that we come and play helps to uplift people in those times.
I would like to ask you, which city, which country will you reach after tonight? You're on tour, maybe?
I think the next place that we'll go to is, I want to say Zurich.
Zurich, so Switzerland, and after different country in Europe?
Yeah.
All right, just to make the people know. What's next?
Lots of different countries. Check it out on the internet. I don't know the list of them off the top of my head, but lots of places.
Just last question. You can't tell us about the song, but could you tell us who produced the music on your new album, or who made the song, or I mean, like who did you work with? You know.
Well, of course, I work with my older brother Steve. I work with Steve McGregor. I work with Andrew Blacks, Baby G. You know, musicians in my band, especially Young Pow, Sean Diedrich, who is here also. I did a few tracks myself. Work with, you know, different people.
And Skrillex and all these people who
No Skrillex on this album.
Strictly reggae album.
Surprise. So one last word for the Reggae Sun Ska.
Thank you very much for having me, you know. Thank you very much for having us as always. And, you know, Jah continue to guide and protect us all. And until we meet again, one love and take care of yourself.
Give thanks, Damian Marley, to be here, to enjoy the crowd tonight. Hope to see you another time. Merci beaucoup à tous les gens connectés. Merci à Julien, merci à Stéphanie pour cette interview. C'était la 19e édition du Reggae Sun Ska. Rendez-vous pour la 20e, encore de belles choses à venir. À bientôt sur la Web TV. Big up. Give thanks.